Whenever I get into an open Q&A session, one of the most regular questions that I get is, among all the business tycoons and superstar athletes and celebrity entertainers and heroic humans, which was my favorite interview? Of all those that were recorded, because some of the most profound encounters that I had were not recorded, like the almighty encounter that I had with a centenarian, and then my chance encounter with a 94-year-old multi-billionaire on his super yacht who taught me his sacred Sunday planning system, and of those that were approved for publishing, because many of the interviews that I did were audio rights restricted and not allowed to be published, but of all those that were actually published, my favorite all-time interview was with Louis Zamperini. For those of you not familiar with Louis' story, he was an Olympic distance runner that competed in the 1936 Olympic Games, in which that was the one that Hitler presided over, who after watching Zamperini's final lap of 56 seconds, insisted on meeting him. Louis was a bombardier in the Pacific Theater during World War II. On a search mission, his Green Hornet bomber experienced mechanical failure and crashed at sea, killing 11 men aboard. 2 of the 3 remaining crew, Zamperini, one of them, survived by capturing albatrosses that landed on their raft and eating their heart and liver. And while fending off constant shark attacks and nearly being capsized by the storm, they were lost at sea for 47 days. On their 47th day adrift, Louis reached land in the Marshall Islands and was immediately captured by the Japanese Navy. Louis, being considered a great propaganda piece as a former American Olympic athlete, they tried to get him to speak against the United States. They brutally beat him, tormented, and tortured him to do it. But Louis would not be broken. Through to the end of the war, August 1945. And Laura Hillebrandt's book and Angelina Jolie's movie about his life is titled Unbroken. Here is one of the final questions that I asked Louis during our interview, and his answer was like a headbutt to the chest, one that I'll never forget. I asked Louis, what advice would you give someone from this generation if, whatever reason or for whatever circumstance that they're facing, they're feeling like giving up? He said with a fierce stare that could burrow a hole right through your soul. He said, if they're feeling like giving up, then they don't have any respect for themselves. My theory is, if you want to overcome anything, you have to be fully committed to it. Be hardy, and then overcome it. And the more that you overcome adversity, the more hardy you will become. As far as self-respect, I don't see how anybody can back off from a challenge. Take the challenge. Win or lose, you'll learn by it, and you'll expand it, and you will become more hardy because of it. End quote. Well, hell. I couldn't agree more. We all need to be more hardy. Kind of has a particular ring to it I like. I'm not sure why. I read an article about the conclusion of a 30-year research study by psychologist Dr. Salvatore Matti, who discovered that the attribute of hardiness makes the difference. Hardiness is described as a personality trait characterized by the resilience and the ability to cope effectively with stress. According to Matti, there are 3 traits that make up hardiness: challenge, control, and commitment. Challenge means seeing problems or stressors as opportunities for greater growth and performance. As Louis said, quote, I don't see how anybody can back off from a challenge. Take the challenge. Win or lose, you'll learn by it and you'll expand it and you'll become more hardy because of it. The second C of hardiness is control. This means not seeing yourself as a helpless victim at the mercy of events or circumstances. It involves having an internal locus of control. In other words, maintaining full responsibility for your actions, reactions, and behavior. We've talked about this before. The way you always maintain control over your outcomes is a product of E plus R equals O. Events that you can control plus reaction that you can control equals your outcomes, which means that you always have control of your outcomes when you take control of your response to events. The third C of hardiness is having a sense of purpose and meaning in life. Persons with this trait do not just survive going through life with little direction, instead, they thrive. Now get this, only 1/3 of individuals in Matti's study manifested hardiness. The one thing that has been proven is that people can become hardier with training. And that is what we do here every morning on Darren Daily, all day long at your beck and call on Darren Daily On Demand. Through the Compound Effect, the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, the Insane Productivity Curriculum, the eFastPass program, and our High Performance Forum Business Masterclass. All these tools and programs are designed to help you become more hardy. So tell us, where do you need to beef up your hardiness? 1, seeing challenge and stress as opportunity. 2, taking more control and responsibility for your reactions to change your outcomes. Or 3, being more fully committed, staying in alignment with your higher purpose so that you can thrive more. Tell us which one in the comments below. Don't click away just yet, my Darren Daily friends. If you have known me for a while, you've probably heard me mention the wildly successful but ultra-private centenarian that I once interviewed. Last year, I was finally able to share the wisdom that he gave me that fit onto a single sheet of paper. And what he wrote on that single piece of paper completely altered my life. Well, heck, more than that, it made the life that I have now possible. My life is literally, no messing around here, at least 10 times by most every metric since the day I had this almighty encounter. Would you like to meet this centenarian? Would you like to know what he wrote on that single piece of paper? All that he attributed to accumulating his multi-billion-dollar fortune and the immense love, respect, and admiration that he garnered from everyone who knew him. Now, the recordings of this encounter is usually only accessible to paying members of the Darren Hardy Training Vault. But today, I'm going to give you open access. It will only be accessible for a few days, but plenty of time to have an encounter with a man and his wisdom that is likely to also change the course of your future too. Just click the link below to gain free access to the Almighty Encounter and enjoy.